Do you still feel anxious or get nervous during social encounters, speaking to strangers, going on dates, or even simply just walking into a social event? If yes, then you need to finally meet Dr. Alexander Lowen and learn about his body mind therapy. Because maybe you, like me, have watched videos about confidence or read books to improve our social skills, or even spoke to a therapist about our fears and anxieties, only to find out that none of these have actually worked to calm us down and to make us free to just be confident when it truly matters, when we are in the actual moment, face to face with that person, in the social event. You still feel stifled, like parts of your body just froze up, or you get stuck in your head with racing thoughts. Or maybe for you, it was just like this for me. You find it almost impossible to even breathe or to speak up and say something with confidence. If any of that rings a bell for you, then keep watching, because here today I'm going to share with you the 3 activation points that I learned from Dr. Alexander Lowen to finally unleash our confidence from the inside out. And the great news is that all the changes happen internally through using the power of the body-mind connection, meaning that the transformation itself is 100% natural. It's long-lasting and it's absolutely free. Using the power of the body-mind connection. It's amazing. And the best part is now that when you find yourself in the moment, when it actually counts, in front of your boss, client, or person that you want to date, your body and your mind are already trained. They're already set up to make you feel free, at ease, calm, relaxed, and confident. This is going to change your entire life. And just quickly before going into the 3 activation points, I should let you know that the only reason that I found Dr. Alexander Lowen is because back in my teenage years and my early 20s, I, Arnold Joseph Lascano, was a young man filled with tons of self-doubt and loads of anxiety. And I think I was a really bad case, and maybe you can relate. For me, one of the worst times was when a girl would speak to me. My heart would immediately start pounding, and all of a sudden, I would find it almost impossible to breathe. Like I was breathing out of a straw. And in my head, I was trying to remain cool, but it was impossible, right? Because my body was just freaking out internally. All I wanted to do was run away. And it was super awkward. And I couldn't really talk or say anything, so I just stayed quiet. And most of the time, I'm sure I had like a weird, kind of scared look on my face, like a deer in headlights. But it wasn't only just talking to girls. It was also if I met anybody who I perceived to be a cool kid, right? Or somebody in authority. I would find myself in these situations and I would just feel very insecure. Just second guessing everything and overthinking every single word I would say, every single gesture I would make. I would just be thinking about how I looked, just self-conscious about my pimples or my braces or the clothes that I'm wearing. Inside, I was a total mess, stuck in my head, just thinking at a mile a minute. And at the end of the day, it didn't even help because I couldn't even enjoy being with these people. Okay, and the most embarrassing one, actually, I'll give you one more, and this is the last one, was sweaty hands. Whenever I would meet new people, my hands would get soaked with sweat. I can't believe I'm telling you guys this. And the and the more I think about it, every time I had to think about shaking somebody's hand or giving them high five, the sweatier my hands would get. So for years before shaking anybody's hands, I first had to wipe them down on my pants a little bit. And most of the times, my hands were still wet because they were soaked. It was super embarrassing. But anyway, the whole point here is that I obviously knew something was wrong, right? I had a big issue, and I knew I had to do something to overcome it. The nervousness and the social anxiety that I was experiencing was no way to live. And this is how I eventually got to be introduced to Dr. Alexander Lowen and his work. And I wish I found him right away, but instead I ended up getting a degree, an undergraduate degree in psychology, because I thought understanding the human mind itself, just the mind, would be enough to overcome all my insecurities. But that wasn't true. And I also started learning about dating advice. And some of you guys may know exactly what I'm talking about. But let me tell you, after all that learning and researching and practicing in the field, the art of being social, I was left with just some simple social hacks and some mental techniques. And that's it. All these things never got to the root cause of the issues. And all I had were just clever little tricks that I could use to manage social interactions. Just pull them out when I needed it, right? And it was really very manipulative. And it basically just seemed like I was faking it during every interaction. Almost like I was performing and not being myself. Because these techniques never taught me to be confident from the inside out. To be genuinely calm and confident. But then everything changed when I finally discovered Dr. Lowen. And he was a psychoanalyst and a medical doctor, a dual PhD in the 1900s. Now that's huge and very rare. This man was a genius protege of Wilhelm Reich, who was also an incredibly smart and well-known student of Sigmund Freud himself, who is referred to as the father of psychoanalysis. So Dr. Lowen comes from this extraordinary lineage of teachers. But what made him even more phenomenal than all of his peers was his deep focus on the body-mind connection and his awesome knowledge about how we can use our bodies in specific ways to transform our psychology from the inside out. And he wrote over 10 astounding, mind-blowing books about this topic and dedicated his whole life to this study. And 12 years ago, when I discovered him, he lit a fire within me because I noticed in myself immediate changes, specifically in my psychology, just from doing the simple exercises that he suggested in his books. And the first thing I noticed was that my social anxiety, all those things I mentioned before, they just started to fade. And I remember being amazed and thinking to myself, wow, this is what it feels like to be comfortable in your own skin. Or what some people say, I feel at home. I feel at home in my body. And because I kept experiencing this inner confidence, I began to trust myself more and started to do things that I would have never dared to do before. And I didn't have to do it with any tricks, right? So for starters, I took a courageous and bold decision to become a friar at the age of 25. And if you don't know what a friar is, it's kind of like a monk out in the world. So I was basically a monk at age 25 to 30. And everybody thought I was crazy. But at this point, I was confident enough to make my own decisions, no matter what anyone else thought. And that was a big thing for me. And I remember walking the busy streets of New York City and Boston in a brown robe. Like seriously, imagine that. Me, a former, shy, and anxious mess, could barely look people in the eyes, and the sweaty hands, the whole deal. Now calmly and confidently striding through the busy streets of New York City in a brown robe. Like that's amazing. I'm telling you, the transformation in me was profound from the inside out. And because I became confident in my own skin, I was naturally at ease around people, no matter who they were or where I was. I literally felt like I was at home everywhere. And this newfound confidence opened so many doors for me that back in the day, I never thought were even possible. Like I've literally met influential figures and did it without any fear. I didn't overthink it or second guess myself. And it led to me developing some great friendships along the way. And in the process, this is the coolest part. I was just being myself with no anxiety, which is something that would have never happened before. One great example is that I met a longtime online mentor of mine. You may know him, Elliot Hulse. He's an OG on YouTube. And we developed a great friendship. I now help the men in his coaching business. And he was even a groomsman at my wedding. Oh yeah, and that too. After deciding that I was not going to be a monk forever, I met an amazing girl. I was super confident during our whole dating journey. I was 100% authentic, and she is now proud to be my wife. And look, I don't say any of this to brag, but I think I needed to share with you how I went from a person with crippling social anxiety to now what for me is high levels of personal and social confidence. So I know both sides of the story. And the change in me didn't happen because I'm some awesome guy or have special skills or anything like that. I'm just a normal guy, just like you, normal person who happened to find this amazing body-mind therapy. And I didn't invent this, right? What I get to do now is just share with you the 3 activation points that completely changed my life. And my hope is that if you're still suffering like I was, that you realize that there is a light at the end of the tunnel and that you are capable of speaking with confidence and showing up to a place, any social encounter, secure in who you are. And also just being able to freely and authentically be yourself, enjoying yourself socially with others. That is possible through these 3 activation points that promote real transformation, real confidence from the inside out, the way it should be. Okay, so now let me share with you these 3 activation points. Activation point number 1 is amazing, and it's all about breathing. Deep and relaxed breathing. And the key here is that you want to train your body to breathe this way naturally and unconsciously. And I'll explain what that means in 1 minute, right? But first, let's just remember the main benefits of deep and relaxed breathing. Scientifically speaking, it activates our parasympathetic nervous system. And you may remember that that's our rest and digest system, which basically allows our body and our mind to easily and quickly become relaxed. And it does this by decreasing our tension, our blood pressure, and even our heartbeat. And this is critical to no longer feel socially anxious or nervous, but instead experience our bodies and our minds in an internal state of peace and tranquility. This is very well known, and you may have already heard this, but this is where many self-development people or even trained therapists get it wrong. To tap into this relaxed state, many of them will teach you some type of breathing technique. For example, they may teach you something like boxed breathing, where you focus on your in-breath and your out-breath. You're counting them, right? All just to calm down your nervous system. And this works very well if you're sitting alone at home in a room meditating. But there's at least 2 big reasons why this technique will never work for you in a social environment. Number 1 is by focusing on your breath, you are no longer able to be fully present to the moment, right? To the people in front of you, to whatever the situation demands of you. But instead, now you're stuck in your head counting and thinking about your breath. And this leads to more anxiety as you're trying to do way too many things at once. But the biggest reason why this will never work is because it does absolutely nothing to train our body so that we can breathe better. And here's where Dr. Alexander Lowen comes in. Dr. Lowen says that breathing is a bodily function, obviously, but we need to start with our body and to teach our body to breathe naturally this way, deeply and relaxed. And we do this by releasing the blockages that prevent us from breathing fully. And these blockages are muscle tensions around our whole breathing apparatus, let's say, that causes us to not breathe fully, especially during moments of anxiety. But let's keep this simple. These muscle tensions are kind of like having a belt tied around your neck, making it difficult to breathe, and another one tied around your chest, and let's say one around your solar plexus and one around your belly. And imagine trying to breathe deeply with all those belts tied around you. It's not going to work well. And if you are a person that still experiences anxiety or nervousness in social settings, then you definitely have chronic muscle tightness in one or all of these areas, guaranteed. If you didn't, you wouldn't be suffering this anymore. But this is where the body-mind connection comes in, the power of the body-mind connection. After doing the simple exercises to loosen up those belts around your throat, chest, solar plexus, and belly, you'll notice that the muscles which used to constrict during social situations now no longer have the strength to stop you from breathing deeply anymore. And it may shock you the first time you find yourself present in a social situation. No anxiety, and just easily being able to speak whenever you want to. And it's amazing. It changed my life completely. Activation point number 1. Deep and relaxed breathing to have a calm body and mind. And we can keep talking about this for days, right? But let's move on, because activation point number 2 is also super powerful. And it's all about being secure and centered. And according to Dr. Alexander Lowen, we achieve this by teaching our body to be grounded. And in case you've never heard of this before, being grounded mainly refers to our ability to strongly feel down through our legs, into our feet, and ensure that we are balanced on the ground and that our feet are firmly planted. And then, because we are physically grounded, strong, and balanced on our feet, we get to experience many psychological and emotional benefits that come with it. It's amazing. This is the body-mind connection. And I'm grateful that I started reading Dr. Alexander Lowen's books, because it seems like most people, therapists, self-help, self-development people, all tend to miss how vitally important being grounded is for confidence. And this time, let's not talk about it scientifically. What we'll do is we'll talk about how you and I already use language. The words and the phrases that you already say to describe people who are grounded versus are not grounded. And the phrases that we use are both manifestations that are shown physically and psychologically. And I'll show you what I mean. So check this out. For example, the first one that we'll talk about is for somebody who's not grounded. We may say somebody who is not grounded walks on eggshells. Basically, a physical description of someone who's cautiously walking on eggshells, which is something that we intuitively know means that this person is emotionally nervous about taking a step forward. We may say this person is very hesitant, they're timid or shy, maybe even scared to take their next step, right? This person is walking on eggshells. Definitely not confident, and definitely not grounded, firmly planted on the ground, walking with confidence, right? Another example is if we call somebody a pushover. Basically, that a person is so weak that they cannot hold his or her ground. Again, these are both physical and psychological manifestations. A pushover is somebody who is easy to get rid of. He's not a threat at all. A pushover will easily change his position. He'll change his stance. He'll change his belief if just nudged a little bit. It's incredible. People who are not grounded physically truly do show these characteristics and many more negative traits in their psychology. A few more quick examples is that we call ungrounded people an airhead, right? Or we'd say that they're living up in the clouds, right? They're not grounded. They're stuck in their heads. They're up here in this ephemeral world, not grounded, not secure in reality. They're also hung up on something. They're hanging up on something, right? They're hung up. They're not grounded. And many more. We can go on and on and on, but what you got to know is that all the things that we say about people who are not grounded are not positive. And then we already say really good things about people who are grounded. Maybe we say that this is a person of standing, right? What does that mean? This person is a person who matters, right? They have standing. They have a certain type of standing. Or this person stands for something. Basically that their life has value or has meaning, or that they live with integrity, right? This person is somebody who will hold his or her ground. And that's the opposite of being a pushover, right? So I think you get the point here, right? On a deep level, all of us already know that being grounded is awesome, and that truly confident people are grounded people. And this is where Dr. Lowen comes in. He teaches us how to train our bodies to be grounded so that we can become more firm in our footing, strong and centered physically, but then we also get the psychological benefits and the emotional benefits of it. We begin to know our ground, protect our ground, and hold on to our boundaries easily. We're no longer people who are going to be easily toppled over when somebody crosses our boundaries. No more weak and shaky legs, right? No more buckling at the knees. All these things, right? We're not going to do that anymore. No more feeling insecurity if somebody yells at us or something. Instead, we become both physically and mentally grounded, which means that we feel strong and secure right where we stand. And this is what Dr. Lowen called having self-possession. And it's amazing to be able to possess yourself, to be calm and secure and have strong boundaries. But at the same time, you don't want to be like a robot, strong, relaxed, but also cold, hard, and rigid, right? So that's why we also have activation point number 3, because we're human. You also want to be able to be free to move, to laugh, to dance, to experience, to enjoy yourself in your body and with other people, right? To express yourself fully and easily. And that's why we have activation point number 3, which is all about shaking your body loose and vibrating your whole muscular system. And what this does for us is that it begins the process of allowing our bodies to move with a natural grace. This is important. It releases a lot of those things that are trapping us from being graceful. Just allowing our bodies to move spontaneously with a whole range of motion and a whole range of expressions and emotion, confidently, calmly, and with grace. Moving gracefully through life, not robotic and stiff, no awkward faces or strange movements, having weird tics, like I did, like I had, right? Or second guessing yourself all the time like I used to. And again, this is where many self-development people, self-help people, including trained therapists, get it wrong. For specific social situations, they may tell you to, let's say, practice for the next time. Role playing, right? Role play for the interview. Or practice in your head what you're going to say next time you go on a date. Visualization, right? Practice what you'll do, what you'll say. And although these may help a little bit, they're all just mental tricks. And they'll never allow you to be fully spontaneous and truly confident in yourself from the inside out. And I've tried these for years. But again, this is where Dr. Lowen shined brightly. While doing therapy, he noticed that all of his patients had tight muscles in certain areas of their bodies. Sometimes people are aware of the tightnesses that they held, and other times they were dead zones where people wouldn't even know how tight their muscles were and how it was affecting them. And these tight muscles is what Dr. Lowen called neurotic holding patterns. Again, not going too scientifically, you can call it whatever you want. Basically, what you have to know is that all around our body, he realized that many parts become frozen. They become hard due to traumatic moments in our past. Muscles get chronically tight due to the trauma, many times since early childhood. Like if you get scared too much, you can get scared stiff, right? Or if you get depressed a lot, or if you get bullied a lot, you have a certain type of body and your muscles are tight that way. And this is huge because he realized that trauma not only affects a person's mind, but it also gets trapped and stored in a person's body. And here's the greatest part. He learned that by unwinding the effects of trauma in a person's body, you can unwind the effects of the trauma in the mind. Amazing. This is the body-mind connection. And the main way to do this is by shaking your body loose and vibrating the specific muscles associated with the trauma. And if this seems too unrealistic or too far-fetched, then I suggest that you go online and look up animals shaking after trauma. And you'll see that mammals do this naturally right after having a traumatic moment. Like you'll see a video of a gazelle who almost got eaten by a lion and just starts shaking before galloping towards its herd again. And there's also another famous video of a polar bear who got caught shaking his body to release the effects of trauma. And only after he was shaking was he able to again breathe normally and be free to live his life. And for humans too, we notice this. We have this mechanism. It's an internal mechanism that we already have. And you'll notice this in babies. Look at babies. When they do not like how they're feeling, when something's not right, they tend to cry or scream. And they shake their little bodies, right? They shake their little bodies as they scream and as they cry. And this allows them to get free of the trauma and also to remain soft and free. Young children do this too. When a kid throws a temper tantrum, right? He doesn't like something, so he starts to scream and shake his body and jump up and down, right? Just shaking it all up. Internally, we already know that this works. But for adults, we sometimes get taught not to do this anymore, right? And we're taught not to do it at all. And we're not taught how to do this appropriately so that we can have healthy lives. It's unhealthy not to do this. And that's where Dr. Lowen comes in. He demonstrated that through his therapy, that we can all benefit from this natural way of us releasing our effects of trauma, shaking loose to live and move more gracefully. No trick needed, no mental hacks, nothing like that, right? Just using the power that we already possess through our body-mind connection. And over time, he developed specific exercises to release the effects of trauma from the feet all the way to the head. And this was the biggest game changer of all. You could just release your whole body from these effects, shaking it all loose to live freely again and confidently from the inside out. Okay, cool. So at this point, we've gone over a lot of information together. Breathing, grounding, and shaking loose. The 3 activation points. Amazing stuff that we need to experience. Not just to know intellectually, but to experience. And I know for a fact that so many people have never experienced these 3 activation points. Just from walking around the streets and people watching, I see it written all over their bodies. It's super sad. Their neurotic holding patterns. I can see their trapped anger, their sadness, the anxiety that affects them, right? Because of all the effects of trauma. It's just written on their bodies. And it just breaks my heart because I know that it's affecting their life, their career, their relationships, everything. It's affecting everything. And the saddest part is that I know what can help them. But I can't walk up to every person on the street, tap them on the shoulder, and just tell them what I just told you, and then show them how to do it, you know? That's impossible. But then 2 years ago, I got fed up. I got fed up with that feeling like I had this amazing gift that I couldn't share with anyone. So 2 years ago, I made the decision to organize my 12 years of study into a simple follow-along video series that doesn't explain any theory or unnecessary details, but only focuses on providing the quickest and easiest way to get the results from these 3 activation points. It took me over 2 years to build this, and there's nothing like this out there. So look, I'm going to count to 3. And in 3 seconds, if you're still here with me, then I'll assume that you're giving me the permission to share with you what I have worked on for the last 2 years. I think you're really going to like it. 1, 2, 3. Okay, cool. Thank you for still being with me here and giving me the opportunity and the permission to share with you what I've been working these last 2 years. I think it's really my life's work because there's nothing like this out there. It's really the greatest gift I have to share with the world, and I'm excited to share it with you because looking back, when I was still an anxious mess and studying and trying to overcome my social anxiety and trying all these different things, what I was really missing boiled down to just 3 things. And once I had these 3 things, I started to get results almost instantaneously. And those 3 things were, number 1, knowing what will truly get us the results, right? That's obvious. If we're trying to go to your favorite restaurant, let's say, and you give me the right address, then all I have to do is put it in my GPS, follow the steps, and voila, we get to our destination because we started off with the right information, right? To get us where we wanted to go. Okay, so that's hugely important. So let's not overlook it, right? Very simple though. Okay, and number 2 is having someone to show me exactly what to do. Actually, kind of like driving, let's say, right? In high school, I had a driver's ed teacher, and he was a man who showed me exactly everything that I needed to do to pass my driver's test. The mirrors, 10-2, bell, look at the, the whole thing, where to go, parallel park, whatever. And thanks to him and his guidance, I passed the test easily and I got my license, right? No problem, because I had someone to show me exactly what to do. And same with this, same thing. And then number 3 is just doing the steps, right? But actually more than that, making it as easy as possible to do the steps so that we actually do it. Again, let's say if I'm going to drive to your favorite restaurant, but it's rush hour, and I may get stuck in traffic for an hour or over an hour. I don't want to go. That's too annoying to deal with. But if you give me a shortcut that avoids all the traffic and I can get there in 15 minutes instead of 1 hour, man, I'm there, right? And that's just human nature. If it's easier to do, there's a much higher chance that we will actually do it. And that's why I made this follow-along video series super simple and easy to do. It's kind of like the P90X of body-mind transformation. Just press play, follow along, and get the results. And this goes back to number 1. What truly gets us the results? By using the body-mind connection, what we already inherently have within us, it's impossible to not get the results. Because by opening up our body's ability to breathe more fully, you will tap into your parasympathetic nervous system and naturally be more calm and relaxed. That's guaranteed. There's no way you can not get the results. Also, by being grounded, you will be more secure in yourself, physically and psychologically, more secure right where you stand, strong and centered. And of course, when you start shaking loose and getting rid of the neurotic holding patterns, all those tight muscles that are the result of trauma, by shaking them loose, vibrating, and getting them off of yourself, you will open up a whole new ability of self-expression, a new ability to move more flexible, to express yourself more spontaneously, and like I said before, with grace. And that's the biggest part. So that's number 1. You already know number 1. What will get you the results? It's the power of the body-mind connection. Why? Because we're wired this way, so it doesn't fail. Okay? Number 2 is having someone to show us exactly what to do. And for me, it started with reading Alexander Lowen's books, right? I had a lot of trial and error while I was reading his books. There's a lot of theory, awesome stuff. But also within the books, there were pictures and explanations about how to do those exercises. And these were very helpful, right? I did them. It took me a long time to learn, and I fumbled through them. And of course, I had a lot of mistakes along the way. But even with the mistakes, I was starting to notice progress so quickly that I decided, you know what? I'm going to really learn about this stuff and really change my body and my mind and my social life. So I went to seminars where I learned from trained therapists about how this actually works. And it was hands-on type of therapy. So they taught you stuff. I got a lot of knowledge, but we'd also practice in real time. After that, I met a therapist there who also became my therapist because he lived right in Boston. So for me, Alexander Lowen's books, the seminars, and my own personal therapist all served to show me exactly what to do to get the best results. And now my job is to combine everything that I learned from all 3 of those and be that person for you. And that's exactly what I did. In each one of these videos, I literally show you what to do. You're watching me do it in real time. And I'm also down in the corner coaching you and motivating you right in the same video. It's all laid out for you, super simple. And I did it this way on purpose so that you have, number 2, someone to show you exactly what to do so that you can get results super fast. And this also ties into number 3, right? Making the steps so easy that we actually do it. So what I did was I took out all of the fluff, all of those awesome stuff that I learned that I love, the theory, the deep understanding, the science of how this works and why it works. I don't talk about that in the videos because most people don't really care about the theory and the science that created this process. People just want results, right? And I know that. And you know what? It's okay. And that's why I decided to not add any of the fluff. what you will get instead is just the series of exercises in a specific order to get the best results. And to do it fast, simple, all you got to do is just follow along. It's super easy. A preschooler can do it. And I made it that way on purpose. You just press play, follow along, and notice the results interiorly for yourself. It's amazing. I still can't believe I put this together, but I'm honored. I'm honored that I was given this mission to do this, right? And you know what? I know why nobody else dared to do it. It took a lot of work. It took a lot of time. And of course, I had to invest in a camera, lights, equipment, software, and then also learn how to do these things. But ultimately, now that it's all done, I'm proud. I'm so proud to give you something that, number one, gets you the results. Number two, shows you exactly what to do. And number three, makes it super simple for you to get the results, that you want. And I decided to price this at only $11.97 US. So if you already know that, hey, this is a great deal, I want this, I need this, and I'm ready to take action right now, there's a button below somewhere. You fill out a form. I think within a minute, you'll probably get the login information, the link, everything. So you can take action right now. And I'll see you on the inside. But just in case you want to know exactly what you'll be getting for $11.97, then I'll share my screen now and we can quickly go over it together at my office, okay? Here we go. So broadly speaking, you're getting three things. And you probably already noticed that I like to organize things into categories or into steps to keep things simple. So three things that you'll be getting for $11.97. Number one, knowledge. Number two, convenience. And number three, lifetime access. Okay? And I'll go over each one of those very quickly. So number one is knowledge. Obviously, you'll be saving hundreds of dollars on books, right? So that you don't have to buy Alexander Lowen's books. Let's say they're $20 a piece and you get 10 of his books. That's $200. Not a big deal, right? But more importantly, what you'll be saving is the time that it takes to read them, to apply them, and you won't have to go through that whole trial and error period like I did. Now that's worth a lot, right? You know that's worth a lot. It's your time. But it's kind of subjective, right? Maybe a whole year's worth of like reading this and trying it. For you, maybe it's like, it's worth $2,000. Maybe $20,000 or $200,000. I don't know, right? I don't know what it is. You decide what it's worth, but that's what I know you'll be getting here. You'll be saving a lot of time, right? So additionally, you'll get the knowledge from the books, you'll be saving a lot of time, and then you'll also get all the knowledge that I learned from the seminars. The two seminars that I went to, they each were over $2,000, but let's just say $4,000, right? $4,000 worth of information. Super awesome, very informative, and I think they were totally worth the price. But here, all that knowledge will just be embedded into the program for you. Additionally, I already spoke about my therapist, right? I saw him for a year and a half. And of course, I paid him, right? I learned a lot from him. Then I paid him for his services. And I paid him $100 every single session. And you know, that adds up. That adds up pretty quickly. So all of the knowledge that I gained from him is also here. All of this knowledge condensed and specifically designed for you to get results, right? Remember, no fluff. Get the results. And that's very convenient, right? Number two, convenience. So let's go over convenience a little bit more, and I'll show you everything from the inside, the way I set this up. It's set up so that you can get the results in as little as 6 weeks. And I'll show you the video series. Here, all the exercises are between 20 to 30 minutes long because anybody can find 30 minutes in their schedule to do this, right? In their day to get this type of result. 30 minutes, it's not that much. And check this out. I give you a quick intro video to the series of exercises so that you know exactly what you'll do before you even start. And then you just follow along. And in each video, I'm there coaching you, showing you everything that we spoke about before, set it all up with you with a timer and everything. It's super convenient and easy. And each video builds on top of one another. These aren't even all of them, but look, we're starting with the training, the basics, breathing, shaking, and grounding.
And then you work your way up from your feet all the way to your head. Here you're getting a full training. You're getting it all. Releasing the neurotic holding patterns in the feet and the ankles, the legs. And we work our way up all the way to the neck, to the jaw, to even the face and the eyes, the scalp, right? It's impossible. It's really impossible for me to even tell you how much this is worth. It's amazing. It's a full training for you. I wish I had this when I started, I didn't have this. Just do one video a day, right from the comfort of your home, and be finished in 45 days. It's amazing. It's amazing and super convenient, right? So that's what you're getting. You're getting the knowledge, the convenience, and lastly, lifetime access. With me here, you are going to get this training for life. And of course, you can do it at your own pace. You don't have to do it in 45 days. But there's no deadlines, right? There's no deadlines for you. And you can do it as many times as you like. If for whatever reason, one day you're realizing, you know what, I'm not feeling very grounded. Even if it's like a year from now, guess what? You'll just know exactly what to do. Just click play, follow along, and get the results, right? Or even 5 years. 5 years from now, something happens to you. You get fired from your job suddenly. Or you break up with someone and you need a jump start in your confidence, right? Guess what? You have it right here at your fingertips. All of this you can use forever for absolutely no additional cost. It's here waiting for you whenever you need it. And it's awesome. And there's nothing like this out there. So that's what you'll get. The knowledge, all the golden nuggets from the years of learning. The convenience of doing it right from your home. And it being all set up systematically for you. And the lifetime access so that you can do it whenever you want.
So as I was thinking of all that I'm offering here, I was starting to see money signs, right? I was thinking to myself, you know what? I could really charge a lot of money for this because my therapist, he had no issue charging me $100 a session. And I saw him about 2 times a month. So let's say that's $200 a month for 12 months is $2,400. And I was thinking, okay, great. That's what I'll charge. I'll charge $2,400. And in talking to my friends, they said, Arnold, this is amazing stuff. And people need this and they're willing to pay for it. Another friend was like, Arnold, you have gold here. You can charge thousands easily, which in a way it feels good to hear, that what I'm producing, what I'm doing has a lot of value. And I know it's true, but something about that didn't sit right with me. And I don't know if it's because I was a friar for so long and I lived with a vow of poverty and I was just giving of myself freely. And I love doing that. I gave everything away freely for forever, right? And I don't know, maybe it's also that I just can't charge $2,400 because I passionately want the most people possible to benefit from this like I did. I see the pain and I want people to experience what I experienced. And that's really why I built this, right? So for me to feel better internally, I decided that I was not going to charge $2,400. And I decided what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut that in half, $1,200. And just to make it sound cool, it's $11.97, right? $3 less. And that's that. Maybe my friends are right that I'm offering this for way too little, but I'm just gonna follow my heart here. $11.97 at least for now. So there should be a button somewhere below the video to sign up today. And for whatever reason, if $11.97 is not affordable for you today, I understand. And I'm also going to add some type of payment plan option below so that you can start taking advantage of this today, get the results, and then pay me as you go. I'm going to do all this for you. So just click the button below somewhere in this video and let's do this. And I'll see you on the inside. I'm looking forward to hearing about you, your testimonial, and how this changes your life. All right, see you on the inside. Peace. You know what? Just to help make sure that you take action right now and change your life forever, what I'll also do is I'll add a 90-day, 100% money back guarantee. That way, there's no risk on your part. You have 12 weeks to try this, to follow along all the video series. And if it doesn't work for you, then you will get your money back. No questions asked. And obviously I'm doing this because I am 100% confident that it will work for you. Like I was mentioning before, there is no way that by doing these simple exercises, transforming your body in this way, that you cannot get results. That's impossible. So you will get results. So do yourself a favor, sign up, click on the button below. Let's go through this, and I'll see you on the inside. Peace. Okay, if you're still here, I truly hope that you give yourself these next 90 days to fully transform your life. It's only 90 days, 20 minutes every other day, and you will naturally be more relaxed, secure, and confident. And everybody has 20 minutes every other day to do this, to finally free yourself up and live your life joyfully. Like, I can't imagine, I don't think you can even imagine how your life is going to change by just joining today. By beginning to speak more confidently, by feeling secure in yourself, by feeling confident in your own skin. I don't know if you can even really imagine the changes that would happen, because back in the day, I couldn't even imagine them. You know, everything that happened in my life because of this. In your relationships, in your career, in your life, so many things. And it's time. You're here right now, so click below, fill out the form, and I'll see you on the inside. We'll do this together. I'll be coaching you all the way through. Peace. Okay, I'm assuming that most people have already clicked off by now, but if you're still here, maybe you're still wondering, is this program for me, right? So I'll tell you point blank who this program is for. If you are still feeling nervous in social situations, what some people call social anxiety, if that's you, then this program is for you. It's designed specifically for you. It's even better for somebody who has tried several different things to resolve this. Because at that point, I know that they will be totally blown away by how awesome this body-mind connection stuff actually works, and how awesome it really is, unlike anything they've tried before. But also, this is for people who just want to be more confident. Confident from the inside out without faking it. Calm, secure, grounded, and just being able to be free, right? Just be yourself, express yourself, and enjoy yourself in life with others confidently, right? If that's you and you already had some success, but you want to feel it from the inside, then this is for you as well. And if any of those reasons seem like it's something that you want, or something that you're like, you know what, I do want these results, take advantage, because you may not come across this video again, right? Man, and I don't think anything works so powerfully. You're not going to find anything else out there. Just click below, get the results. You know, it's super simple. You don't have to go to a seminar. And even if you go to a seminar, they won't give you your money back, right? You don't have to go to a therapist. And even if you did go to a therapist, there's no money back guarantee. I'm literally putting my money where my mouth is, right? I'm telling you, I'm giving you 90 days, 100% guarantee that this will get you results. There's no risk on your part. So let's go. Let's sign up today. I will give you immediately everything to your email, everything you need, your login information. So all you got to do is just click below, fill out a form, and I'll see you on the inside. Peace. Okay, if you're still here, I think it's probably, I'm going to just assume that it's because of the finances. And I'm assuming that you understand that this is awesome. You understand that this is going to change your life for the better. And maybe just the money part worries you a little bit, even with the 90-day, 100% guarantee. So just for you, because you're still here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a code, a discount code of $200. And although this is a bit foolish for me to do this, but I'm going to do it because I want you to get the results, right? Get the results. Basically, what I'll do is I'll give you $200 off, but I'm going to ask for something in return. I'm going to ask for your testimonial. You're going to give me a video testimonial after you're done. Just your honest feedback about how your experience was and how this changed your life. So give yourself the chance. I'm going to give you $200. Basically, I'm paying you in advance $200 just for your honest feedback. So sign up today. The special code for you is going to be YES200. That's YES200. YES200. Now let's make the next 90 days of your life the most transformative 90 days ever. I can't wait to see you on the inside and hear about your testimonial, your video testimonial. I'm going to see you face to face. I wish you many blessings, a ton of confidence. YES200, YES200 just for you. See you soon. Peace.